Ekaro, Ekabo family. It's Monday morning and time for Monday Mornings with Iya Funlayo, where we are getting some motivation to get started through our week. Let us know you're here with us this morning and ready to keep walking the path towards your destiny. We are thankful for all of the family members who join us on Sundays and on Mondays as we get ready to make it do what it do for the week. Tisha Ogbato Asore Wori Wofun Galiam, blessings and good morning. Timil, blessings Ifemi. Jen, good morning and blessings to you. Yadira, good to see you with us this morning. Ekaro Ogbato Aramisa, good to have you with us. We are grateful for another day, for another chance to continue walking towards our destinies. Anna, blessings, divine Charlottes, blessings to you, Alafia Neo, Ekaro, Ekabo, and welcome to Monday Mornings with Iya Funlayo, where we are getting some motivation to get started through our week. As I say each and every time we come together, if you are listening to the sound of my voice right now, I need you to give thanks. I need you to give praise. I need you to be happy, glad in your spirit, because it means that you have made it through into another week, into another chance to continue walking the path towards your destiny. Listen, there is only one you, and can't nobody else do what you do in this world. Rosie, blessings to you. Buenos dias. Blessings, Aisha. Can't nobody else do what you do. So we are glad that you are still here to do it. We give thanks and we give praise in each and every moment that we get to be alive and be on this path. Please join me in a nice deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth right now. 1. Yes, give thanks. 2. Yeah, press those shoulders back, open those chest muscles up. And 3. Let that one out with a sigh. Yes. We are grateful. I'm grateful. Listen, I just landed, back on the East Coast. I was bright and early at 7 a.m. yesterday and bright and early at 8 a.m. today because I love y'all. And so I made it in time. I told you I would be here if I landed in time, and all went smoothly. Eshu was working in my favor. So here I am this morning to just share this love with you. You know how we get started on Mondays, how we get started with our week. The most important thing we can ever do is give honor to our own path of destiny, because if I says that we would rather throw away everything, that we would rather throw away every shrine, that we would rather throw away everything before we throw away our heads. And so, thank you, Essence. Oh, love. Right? Before we throw away our head, we will throw away everything else. And so we begin our week by giving honor, Manuka, to our heads, giving honor to ourselves, giving honor to our path of destiny, and minding the business that pays us. So go ahead and touch your head. This morning, as I say, I chant from Otura Ugbe. Kajini kutu kutu, kamomu uni pinko pin, difafuno lomo ajibare padelola. Emi ni mo jini kutu kutu ti mo mu uni pinko pin, emi ni mo ba aje ati ire loni ati lola. Emi ni mo jini kutu kutu ti mo mu ohun ni pinko pin. Emi ni mo ba aje ati okiki ire Loni, Ati, Lola, Ashe, 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 Ashe. Ooh, if you've been with the family before, you know that means that when we wake up early in the morning in the kutu kutu and we give honor to our path of destiny, it is those who do that. That very simple thing. It's not complicated. We talk about this all the time. Spirituality does not have to be complicated, though. It is not complicated. Wake up early in the morning. Give honor to your path of destiny. And when you do that, you're going to meet with good things when? Not only today, but also tomorrow. Why, Reeves? Blessings. It says, Emini, I am the one who wakes up early in the morning and gives honor to my path of destiny. And therefore, I am the one who's going to meet with health, who's going to meet with wealth, who's going to meet with all manners of good things, not only today, but also tomorrow. Ashe, 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 ashe. Remember always that the work, Nasanya, blessings, Alafia, good morning, Rebecca, blessings to you. The work that we do today is not only for today, it is for the next tomorrow and the next tomorrow and the next tomorrow. So work well and know that even if we don't see the return today, right? We don't plant seed. Somebody needs to hear this morning. We don't plant seed and eat the fruit the same day. We don't plant seed and eat the fruit the same day, right? Some of y'all are missing your blessings or thinking that your blessings aren't coming because they're not coming the same day that you planted the seed, right? It takes time to germinate. It takes time to sprout. It takes time to push up through the soil. It takes time to reach up to the sun. So trust and believe and know that just because something doesn't happen immediately doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Remember a couple of lessons back, delayed does not mean denied. And we are not, this week, we're not believing the hype that tells us anything other than greatness about ourselves. We are not believing the hype that says that people are hating on us, because most of the time, I'm going to be real with you, people ain't even thinking about you that much. Just keeping it real, right? Most of the time, the people that we hear so worried about people hating and people doing this, nobody's even thinking about them, right? So there's this place, and going into our story, if you were not with us on yesterday, you know I'm going to tell you to go back and check out the replay so you can get the story with all the bells and whistles. Blessings, Pam's kid. Welcome for joining us this morning. Go back there, get the story with all the bells and whistles. But just briefly, it says that there was a time that Orisaoko and Shango, who in this story is cited as Orisaoko's younger brother, were on a journey, and that Shango had to go forward to fight a battle and had to leave Orisaoko behind because he was injured. And that even through his injury, Orisaoko was planting seeds as he does, as the governor of the harvest, as the governor of the crops, as the governor of cultivation, right? He was planting seeds, growing food that was being sent to Shango soldiers in order for them to win the war. Ultimately, when Shango was on his way back to retrieve Orisaoko after being victorious in battle, he ran into Yemonja, who told him a fib, who told him that Orisaoko had been speaking badly about him while he was gone. And instead of even checking in with Orisaoko first, and instead of even in his mind saying, nah, this is my brother, why would he do that? He's sending me food for my soldiers, he's doing all these things, so why would he be talking behind my back? Instead of any of those considerations, right, Shango runs in with guns blazing, with lightning coming out of his tongue already, accusing Orisaoko of having spoken ill of him. And ultimately, he finds out that this was not true, and he and Orisaoko created a pact together, which this story talks about the origins of the Thunderstone. So for those who don't know, there's a couple of things that I said yesterday that I want to explain, just in case anybody is not familiar with these objects, items, and stories. and some of the references that I made yesterday. So the Ara, the thunderstone that we spoke about, is one of the primary symbols of Shango. And this story says that this talks about the origin of the thunderstone and says that it was when Shango hit a yam with a bolt of lightning that it turned into a stone, and that became the thunderstone. And so when you see thunderstones, they have an oblong shape. This is not a thunderstone, this is a peach moonstone, but they often have this type of shape that is like a yam. And so that's what the story says the origin of that is. Blessings, Rhonda. Welcome to you. So that's one thing to note, right? That the thunderstone, just like the double-sided axe or the ose, those are two of Shango's primary symbols. And interestingly, we know that for many of the shrines that exist, stones are a key part of them, and that it's particular stones, right, that go with particular energies. And so Shango's stones are these particular thunderstones that go with him. The other reference that I made, blessings, Chris, another reference that I made yesterday was to Shango's hair and clothing. And so there's stories of Shango that talk about traditionally the priests of Shango, the male priests, will wear their hair braided up in a style that is typically a woman's style, and will also wear skirts and clothing that can resemble women's clothing. And the story behind that is said that Shango is so manly, right, that regardless of what he has on, regardless of what the outer appearance is, even braiding his hair in the style of women or dressing in that way, that the masculinity that he has still shines through, right, even when he is dressed in this way. So these are two references to Shango that I made in the story yesterday that I wanted to share and explain just in case. And so, of course, part of this talks about how what is in us, right, the strength that we have, all that is in us is not dependent on how we appear on the outside. And we know that that is true in so many different ways, right? That we cannot judge books by their cover, know how powerful or how smart or how anything someone is simply by looking at them. And so that is a part of this story that or this aspect of Shango that's often highlighted, is that you can't get a read on him just by looking at him, because you might take him one way, but he's actually coming from another perspective, or the energy is different than we might expect. But in this story, again, this idea of being talked about, I wanted to highlight that in particular because many of us, and I got to talk about us, right? We see this come through even when people come for readings or consultations. I don't know how many times people come and say, I think somebody is throwing something at me. I think somebody is doing XYZ to me. I think somebody is, throwing witchcraft my way, or speaking negatively of me, or doing something to hurt me. And I'm going to tell you that 9 times out of 10, and I'm not exaggerating, it's not the case, right? 9 times out of 10, when people think that someone is doing something to them, it's 9 times out of 10 that's not the case. So what does that mean? Why do we get so fixated on that? And what is it in us that allows us to believe that, or has that as an idea in our minds? And a lot of time, as for so many things, blessings, Reiki activate, Ogboato, Kashia, blessings to you, Ogboato. Many times, as with so many things, it comes from insecurity, right? Where there are places where we really don't feel as strong, where we really don't feel like things are going our way, where we may really not feel like we have the ability to do the things that we're setting out to do. And it's often easier to blame some external circumstance or some external person rather than saying, what is it that I did or didn't do? What is it that I could or couldn't have done, right, to make this better or to make this situation different? What is it that I can do now, right, instead of focusing on an invisible boogie person, right? What is it that I can do now to shift? And so there is a place, even in this story, as Shango was hearing this thing about Orisaoko speaking about him, where there was already something in him that felt inadequate somehow, right? Already something in him that felt insecure. And that's what even led him to believe it in the first place. And so I highlight this to say that no one can get into our head, no one can get into our psyche, no one can make us believe anything if there's not already a seed of it within us. And this is why we do so much work cultivating Ori. This is why we do so much work cultivating ourselves, so that when we hear these things, right, that we automatically already know, like, nah, that ain't it. I know that's not it. I know what the relationship is I have with this person. I know where I stand, right, with spirit. I know what I have and haven't done. So I don't have to immediately jump to believing those things when I hear them, because I've built myself up. And now, does this mean nobody ever does anything negative to anybody else? Of course not. Does this mean nobody ever talks badly about anybody else? Of course not. We've heard several other stories where that was the case, but many times, right, many times they are not doing that. And it's really us and our own insecurity that's leading us to focus on that. Negativity bias. Yes, Aru. Yes, absolutely. So negativity bias, thank you for mentioning that, is actually one of our most natural psychological activities. And it says that we tend to remember negative things more than positive things. Right? So we can get 50 compliments, and if we get one criticism, our mind and our spirit is going to focus on that criticism as opposed to the compliments. Why? Because historically, right, in early humanity, anything negative could have potentially been deadly, right? If I ate a plant and I got sick, I'm going to remember definitely not to eat that plant again. Or if I go someplace and I get stuck in thorn bushes or whatever, something negative happens to me, I'm going to know, don't go that way again, right? And that's why our psyches are hardwired to remember those negative things, even when the positive things outnumber them. But now, most of the situations that we're fixated on and anxious about are not life and death situations. Right. And so that's why it's really important for us to cultivate cultivate a sense of peace and calm within ourselves, cultivate a sense of confidence within ourselves, so that we know and we have a place of discernment that we're always working from. And so I pray that as we go into this week, we do not believe the hype. We don't believe the hype about any negativity. We don't believe the hype about any gossip. We don't believe the hype about anybody wishing us ill. We're only thinking about and only focusing on the blessings and the things that we are working on. And we're focusing on the things that our Ori is bringing for us. And we're focusing on our destiny. If we focused on that, we ain't got time to be focused on anything else. Ashe, 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 ashe. If you want to reinforce our mantra for this week, you can drop "I won't believe the hype" into the chat. You remember, I also say that when you drop these things into the chat, I want you to say it out loud, especially if you feel like this message is resonating for you, as many of you said that it did. I want you to say, "I won't believe the hype" out loud. I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe any negativity. I'm not going to take any criticism and focus on it, right? Take criticism, because that is the sign of maturity, and that is the sign of real power, when we can take a critique and say, you know what, okay, I see what you mean. I see where I could have done that better, right? But at the same time, we don't internalize it to be indicative of our self-worth, right? We don't internalize those things. Ashe, Rhonda, Tisha, Aramisa, Anna, Nisanya, we are not believing the hype about any negativity. Aisha, Reiki, we are not believing the hype. Smiling Happily, Chris, Lady Diana, we are not believing any. Velcy, we are not believing any. Auru, we are not believing any of the hype about any negativity this week. We are only standing in our power and believing only the good hype about us being strong, about us being powerful, about us being brilliant, about us being talented, about us being on the road to success. Ashe, Pam's kid, why reuse blessings. That's the only hype that we are taking this week. Ashe, 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 ashe. Manuka, come on with it. We're not believing the hype. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Let's see what Spirit has for us as a message for the week to help us tap deeper into that energy. Olodumare, ancestors, Orisha, all divine beings. What is the message for the Ashe Ire family this week? Now, they already showed me the crystal, but so let's see what our energy is. Kashia, I see you, not believing the hype. Yes. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Spirit, what do you have for us this week? What's jumping out? Oh, we have the Queen of Swords, or the Sybil of Swords, popping out for us this week. And the crystal that came goes right along with this. So the Sybil of Swords, or the Queen of Swords, this is perfect for us this week. The Queen of Swords knows that she knows what she knows, that she knows what she knows, that she knows what she knows. Right? She's not going to believe nobody's hype about nothing, because she already knows who she is. She knows where she's been. You see all the mountains back there? She done climbed every one of them mountains, and she knows how to maneuver herself through rough terrain. She knows that she is brilliant. She knows that she is a strategist. She knows that she has the power of the Iyami here with her, the birds, right? She knows she is one of the embodiments of confidence. And this is inward. This is the thing. When we deal with the queens or the sibyls, we're looking at a type of inner maturity that they're touching on. So this isn't about necessarily what we go out and floss and flodge to everybody else. This is about inner security, which is what we were just talking about, right? She is the antithesis of insecure. She has a sense of deep, deep, deep security, deep knowing, deep understanding of her own value, deep admiration and respect for herself, right? And so this week, this is what we're tapping into, the Sybil of Swords, or the Queen of Swords, that calls on us to have deep respect for ourselves, deep respect for our own intelligence, deep respect for our own talent as strategists, deep respect for the lived experience that we have. Many of us don't realize how deep the lived experience that we have is, right? You may not have gone to school and gotten degrees and done all these things that this society says are important, but your life, right? Like they say, school of hard knocks, your life has been the school, right? The experiences that you've had have taught you abundantly. And so the Queen of Swords, or the Sybil of Swords, says tap into everything that you have learned. Know how powerful you are. Know how brilliant you are. Know that you have the power to continue doing each and everything that is in your path to do. And so don't doubt that, and don't believe any hype that tells you anything different. Ashe, 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 ashe. And right on cue, my intuition had already chosen Tiger Eye for us as our stone for the week. And so Tiger Eye connects us in with the energy of earth and the energy of fire. Tiger Eye connects us in with earth and with fire, and says that we have the ability to be grounded while also being active, while also being energetic, while also, right, having that sense of a fire underneath our behinds. And so if it's just fire and there's no earth grounding it, we can get a little bit crazy, as Shango is sometimes known to do, right? And so that's part of the energy that comes out in this story. And so for us, we want that connectedness of the grounding between the earth and the fire energy that Tiger Eye brings. Tiger Eye talks about, having the eye of the tiger, being focused on your goals this week, being focused on the things that make you tick, right? Not necessarily what other people think you should do, not what, might look cute or look good, but what really is in your heart to do, what really is in your mind to do, what really is in your power to do, right? Don't set yourself up for failure by making the goals too big for yourself. If it's okay to have big goals, but then we have to break them down into their steps, right? To get from point A to point B. And so this week, connect in with this energy. Our resident crystal expert, Chris, Tiger Eye grounding, highly protective, also represents abundance. Ashe, Ashe. We are calling in that abundance and that protection. Yes, thank you for mentioning that. The divine protection of Tiger Eye as we move towards our goals, as we move towards the things that are important to us this week. We want to know that we are divinely protected, and we want to know that we are walking in abundance, and that the more we are able to walk our path of destiny, the more abundance we're going to find effortlessly. Ashe, 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 Ashe. So Sybil, Queen of Pentacles, Tiger Eye, those are our messages from Spirit for this week. Thank you, Jessica, for getting the giving started this morning. If you are feeling blessed by the messages this morning and would like to participate in the ministry of giving, you can do that right here on YouTube. You can also do so via Cashapp, $ Iya Funlayo, at Ashe Ire for Venmo, and using Funlayo at AsheIre.com for PayPal and Zelle. As I tell you each and every time we come together, the most precious, the most valuable thing that you have is not money, but it is that tea, your time, your energy, and your attention. So please only spend those in places and with people who lift you up, who remind you how great you are, who help you to have grounding and action at the same time, who don't want to keep you so grounded that you ain't doing nothing and don't want you to pop off so quick that, you just running around willy-nilly and not basing things in reality and in a sense of practicality, right? Both of those have to go together. And so we pray that you sip your tea slowly and know that it's non-renewable currency. You can get more money. You can never get more time. You can never get more attention, right? And so when you spend those, please spend them wisely. Ashe, 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 Ashe. If you're new to the family, be sure to visit us over at AsheIre.com. Get some more of this medicine that we got for you over there, including my ebook where you can learn the prayer we say on Sundays for yourself and other goodies as well. Registration for the Black Spirit Solstice Summit, the 8th annual, is open now. Super early bird registration available for 2 weeks only. Will end on November 9th. So don't wait. If you know you want to be in the building with us, and you do, right? Go ahead and register now. BSSS, that's Black Spirit Solstice Summit, BSSS 2025. .eventbrite.com is the link, and you can register. You can use code ASHE10 to save. If you're in the Akeko circle, shout out to the Akekos. Your discount code will work for your registration as well. And we very much look forward to being together. It's going to be a beautiful and high time. So I look forward to seeing you. Family, you know what I want you to do now? I want you to go be great. I want you to have a beautiful rest of your Monday. I want you to have a beautiful week. I want you to walk with your head held high and be confident and know that you know what you know that you know what you know that you know what you know that you know. Okay? Don't let anything take you off your mark this week. Don't believe none of the hype that says anything other than that you are fabulous. And I will look forward to us being together again very soon. Hey, give thanks for your presence, each of you this morning. Odabo.